Hello friends, welcome to my channel Sushant Chess Quiz. Today we are going to look at the next endgame study. This is our endgame study number 3. So the idea is to cover such endgame studies which can be very useful for our other endgame knowledge also. White to play and win. At first it looks like it's a very easy position. But as I told you, every study has only one solution or one idea involved. So here if white plays the move kc3 thinking that it's an easy win, then after kc3 comes a1 equal to queen check, king b3, and now it looks like it's going to be a forced mate, rook f1, because the queen is unable to control the f1 square, nor the queen can interpose, but black has the move queen f6 and the queen is able to guard the f1 square. Rook into f6, gf6, and black will be the one who will win the game. He has 2 extra pawns. White has only one way of winning here. If he plays rook f1, then also kb2, and after which a1 will queen. So h6, only move eliminating the plan which black had with the move queen f6. Now if a1 equal to queen, then rook f1 check, kb2, rook into queen, king into queen, h into g7, and the white pawn promotes to a queen. The only move gh or g6 they are possible, but after g6 we see that king moves to c3 on queens, then do king b3, same idea, a1 queen check, kb3, and now the move queen f6 is not available, and rook will do checkmate from the f1 square. Let's say queen e5, then rf1 check, queen e5, queen e1, and re1 checkmates. After kc3 the only chance would be the move a1 knight. But if the pawn on h7 remains, white has simply rook b2 check, forcing the king on c1, and he can go rook b7, take the pawn on h7, and then return his rook and queen the pawn. So this variation is very easily winning for white. So the main line of study is after h6, gh6, black eliminates all the white pawns and then tries to hold king and knight versus rook. Side has knight plus 3 pawns. So here now after king c3, if h5 then rook f1 mates. So a1 equal to knight, but the knight on the edge loses against the rook. So king and rook can win against the knight which is on the edge. Now see, after rook b2 check, white views a mating net. King c1 forced, rook a2, and now we see that knight cannot move to c2 or b3. So the only option see king b1, rook a6, knight c2, and the only move rook e6. We don't want the knight to reach the e3 square. Once the knight reaches e3 or e1, the knight will escape. And now we see the knight is systematically trapped. Now after the move knight a3, white gives some check and traps the king in the mating net. Rook check, king a2, rook check, king b1, and kb3. And we see that if the knight moves away, then rook e1 mates, otherwise knight c2, then rook c2. So the only move now here is h5. And after the move h5, white uses the same technique. Rook e2 attacks the knight. If knight goes to a3, then king b3 and wins. And after the only other move, knight a1, white can force black into zugzwang. After rook b2, king a1, rook h2, kb1, and then he can fire knight c2, and we can see just the check. So here white wins the knight, and king a2, rook h2, king a3, then rook h7, and now the mate happens from the a7 square, and we see that the black knight is trapped. I hope you are finding these lessons instructive. Do like, share and subscribe the channel. Thanks for your time.